Hello and welcome. You're watching Rajya Sabha News. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the top stories. Rajya Sabha discusses COVID situation. Members praise the contribution of doctors, scientists and frontline workers in tackling the pandemic. The government refutes opposition charges of mishandling the crisis. Rajya Sabha adjourned in the pre-lunch session over opposition demands to suspend regular business, hold discussion on various issues under Rule 267. And the government seeks Parliament's approval for net additional spending of 23,675 crore rupees in the first batch of supplementary demands for the current fiscal year. Rajya Sabha took up a short-duration discussion on the COVID-19 situation in the post-lunch session. Chairman Naidu said some members gave constructive suggestions. Replying to the debate, Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said many state governments floated global tenders for vaccines but did not get any response. Listen in.
और एक क्राइसिस की स्थिति में ऐसे ही स्थिति हमें अवसर देती है जिस स्थिति में हमें साथ में मिलकर चलना होता है। और इसलिए जब तीसरी वेव्स की बात आती है तब क्या 130 करोड़ की जनता, सभी सरकारें, देश के आम नागरिक साथ में मिलकर तय करें कि हम देश में तीसरी वेव नहीं आने दे। हमारा संकल्प, मोदी जी का मार्गदर्शन हमें तीसरी वेव से बचा सकता है। हमें संकल्प करना है। मुझे खुशी हुई कि हिंदुस्तान में भारत बायोटेक एंड सीरम, दो कंपनी ने, भारत बायोटेक इंडिजिनियस रिसर्च, ये हमारे लिए प्राउड की बात है। इंडियन रिसर्च, इंडियन प्रोडक्शन, और दुनिया के साथ वो मार्केट में आ गए। दोनों कंपनी ने अपना प्रोडक्शन चालू कर दिया और प्रोडक्शन रैंप अप कर रहे हैं। हमने कई निर्णयों में रिलैक्सेशन दे दिया कि भाई चलो, यूरोपियन कंट्रीज है, डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज है, ऐसी कंट्री ने यहां जो वैक्सीन को अप्रूव किया हो और इमरजेंसी यूज ऑथराइजेशन दिया हो, उसको इंडिया में ट्रायल करने की आवश्यकता नहीं। वो वहां ट्रायल किया गया है, उसको हम ट्रायल मान लेंगे। ऐसा करके देश की रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरी करने के लिए हमने उसको रिलैक्सेशन दे दिया।
As many as 26 members from 21 parties took part in the debate on the pandemic. BJP leader Swapan Das Gupta initiated the discussion. He said, contrary to expectations, COVID-19 has been a long, drawn-out struggle.
Doctors, nurse, paramedical staff, आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर्स, आशा बहनें और सरकारी और गैर सरकारी लोग महामारी के शिकार बने, तो उनको मैं सैल्यूट करता हूं। और जो इसमें गुजर गए हैं उनको मैं श्रद्धांजलि सभी की ओर से अर्पित करता हूं। नदियों में तैरती लाशों ने पूरी दुनिया को चिंता में डाल दिया और उसका चित्र भी मैंने आपके सामने रखा। जाने कितने लोग नदियों के किनारे मजबूरी में दफन दिए गए, कितने बच्चे अनाथ हो गए, कितने पर कहर टूटा। ये सब हमारी कई पीढ़ियों को याद रखेगा और एक इतिहास में नमूद होगा कि कोविड के पीरियड में कितने लोग मर गए थे। इतने बड़े देश में कोरोना से कितने लोग मरे, क्या ये रहस्य ही बना रहेगा? सरकार कोरोना से 4 लाख से अधिक मौतों की बात बनाती है और बहुत कम आंकड़े दिखाते हैं। लेकिन सर, मैं आपको एक आंकड़ा बताना चाहता हूं कि जो आज सब मिला के 5 लाख का आंकड़ा सरकार दिखा रही है, सरकार इसमें विफल हो गई है। इसकी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वो लेना चाहिए। और दूसरी, पद इंतजामी के नाते पहली लहर में देश की अर्थव्यवस्था भी खत्म हो गई। अस्पताल में बेड की भारी कमी, वेंटिलेटर की संख्या बहुत कमी और ऑक्सीजन की कमी, हर चीज की कमी, इसके बावजूद भी सरकार ये कहा, सरकार के लोग ये कहते रहे कि हम कोरोना से बचे हैं, विजयी हो गए हैं। आपने कहा कि वैक्सीन हम दिसंबर के अंदर सभी लोगों को देने वाले हैं, लेकिन आज की हालत है 2 डोज किनको दिए हैं, सिर्फ 5% लोग हैं, 5.33।
While other party leaders highlighted various other aspects of the COVID-19 pandemic, listen in.
I think a lot of us may be aware, or at least those, my friend Mr. O'Brien there might be aware of the passage I might be reading, because the author of that passage is someone who the state government of West Bengal appointed in the Global Advisory Board to contain the pandemic. And I quote, "The goal of social policy in these times of change and anxiety is to help people absorb the shocks that affect them without allowing those shocks to affect their view of themselves." In other words, how do we cope with the crisis without destroying the very esteem of people who've been affected by the crisis? This is a quote from the Nobel Prize winning Abhijit Banerjee. I think when we, in terms of social policy, have to decide, it's basically we have to take a balance of risks. That is what it's all. Choice in this matter, policy is always about. It's about how do we balance the various risks at play. There is, of course, one way of just saying to seal off yourself from the rest of the world. Some of you may remember the case of Sir Isaac Newton, who in the time of the Great Plague shut himself off in a village for 3 years and produced some of his best and most creative works.
Though COVID is a multi-peak system disease, the situation and scenario is not same in every state of the country, but there was no value in the federal structure of the government. Unilateral advisories, states' hands were tied, sir. Sir, there are stringent restrictions to several issues so far the states are concerned. Though I would like to remind you the concept of safe home, the concept of physical distancing by drawing circles on the road, the concept of physical distancing, the concept of comorbidity studies, or all these were the brainchilds of none other than Madam Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister, Health Minister of our state of West Bengal. Sir, mass vaccination is the solution, because we all know that third wave might affect the younger group, children group. Why? Because they are not yet vaccinated. So government takes a strong note regarding the mass vaccination policy. Especially availability of pediatric ventilator, it should be a must. And the federal structure should be given importance. What's wrong in it? If a lady knows better than you, what's wrong in it to have some good ideas from that lady? Why don't you come to West Bengal for a day? Just see, you have made this infectivity rate 33%. Within a span of 1 month, it has come down to 1.3% in our state of West Bengal. What's wrong in it to learn something good from it?
The second wave has affected a lot of people in the country. There is a fear that the third wave is going to affect the country, and the governments should be prepared to control and minimize the third wave, sir. There has been an economic slowdown, sir. No doubt it has given a cost to all sections of people in the country, sir. We have a long way to go to revive our economy. I am sure, sir, the central government and the state government work together for the interests of the nations without politics in the name of COVID-19, sir. Sir, I feel the need of the hour today is vaccination at a faster rate, extending injections for children below 18 years, more medical infrastructure in town, and at the same time, villages to stop the spread of the third wave.
The supply of vaccines, Health Minister's consideration, and the Ministry of Health filed a writ petition suo motu in the court that it is provided under proportion of population between 18 to 44 years of irrespective vaccinations are supplied to the states. But on the contrary, in practice, it is not so, sir. The number of vaccine doses provided for Tamil Nadu is only 300 per thousand, whereas for Gujarat it is 533, Karnataka it is 493, and Rajasthan 446. Why is this disparity? Why is this difference? Let it be uniform. Please. If you are giving it by proportion of population, Tamil Nadu should also get the equal share. We are not asking anything for us. It's only to save the lives. We have got a capacity of vaccinating 3 lakh people per day. It has been developed. Our Prime Minister has repeatedly, Chief Minister has written another letter in July that he needs immediately 1 crore vaccines to fulfill the requirement there. So, sir, I think the Health Minister would take into consideration. The MP-led fund is different. But these 2 proposals kindly give that facility. That modern, high competent facility, which would manufacture vaccines to the state government, as well as provide immediately 1 crore vaccines to the state of Tamil Nadu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Siva.
मैंने कल सेक्रेटरी जनरल साहब से बात करने की कोशिश की, बाकी जगह भी किसी 2 सत्र के बीच में सर 50 लोगों की ऑबिचुअरी आज तक कभी नहीं हुई संसदीय इतिहास में। राजीव सातव की उम्र थी जाने की इस दुनिया से। रघुनाथ महापात्रा जब मिलते थे गले लगाते थे, बोलते थे जय जगन्नाथ। अचानक में वो नहीं है। ये पीड़ा व्यक्तिगत है, आंकड़ा मैं नहीं कहना चाहता हूं, मेरा आंकड़ा, तुम्हारा आंकड़ा, अपनी पीड़ा में आंकड़ा ढूंढिए। एक व्यक्ति नहीं है इस देश में, इस सदन में, सदन के बाहर, उस सदन में जो ये कहे कि उसने किसी जानने वाले को ना खोया हो। मैं किसी दल की ओर से आज नहीं बोल रहा हूं, मैं दावे के साथ कहता हूं, मैं लाखों लोगों की ओर से बोल रहा हूं जो यहां बोलना चाहते हैं। अब मेरी बात सुनिए, आज शिकायत नहीं कर रहा हूं आपसे। ये वेलफेयर स्टेट है ना, एक साबुन की टिकिया अगर कोई गरीब गांव में खरीद रहा है ना सर, तो अडानी अंबानी के बराबर का करदाता है। आप उसको कह रहे हो मुफ्त वैक्सीन, मुफ्त इलाज, मुफ्त राशन। नहीं साहब, कुछ मुफ्त नहीं है, उसका स्टेट है, इस वेलफेयर स्टेट का कमिटमेंट है। उसको आप डिनाइग्रेट मत करिए, डेमोनाइज मत करिए, उसे बौना मत बनाइए, ये आग्रह है मेरा।
बजट बढ़ना चाहिए और स्वास्थ्य विभाग के हरेक नीचे से ऊपर वाले अफसरों को जागृत होना चाहिए। जब तक जागृत नहीं होगा, हिम्मत नहीं होगी बीमारी को ठीक करने के लिए, हम असफल हो जाएंगे। जिन नर्सों के द्वारा, जिन डॉक्टरों के द्वारा, जिन महिलाओं के द्वारा एक बीमारी पर रहते हुए उसको ठीक करने का काम किया, मैं उनको अपनी तरफ से, अपने दल की तरफ से बधाई देना चाहता हूं। और जो सेवा करते करते डॉक्टर, नर्स, सेविकाएं जो मर गई, उनके प्रति हम श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करना चाहते हैं।
जिस तरह से गंगा के किनारे हजारों शवों को दफनाया गया जैसे भी लाकर, वो हम सबने देखा है, पूरे विश्व में देखा है। और इस शवों का अपमान, डिग्निफाइड मौत नहीं मिली उनको, अंत संस्कार नहीं हुआ। इंडियन पिनल कोड 297 जहां लिखा है कि शवों का अपमान नहीं होना चाहिए, वो गैर कानूनी है और अपराध या दंड है। लेकिन हमने हजारों शवों को इस तरह से फिर एक बार मारा है, कुचला है और अपराध किया है। ये किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? मैं किसी एक व्यक्ति को, एक सरकार को दोष नहीं देता हूँ। बात सिस्टम की है और सिस्टम के पीछे जो व्यक्ति है उनके बारे में है। लेकिन सरकार से हमारा सवाल है कि आप आंकड़ा क्यों छुपा रहे हो? कितने लोग हमसे बिछड़ गए, आप बताइए, सही आंकड़ा बताइए।
Wherever we are currently is that there are several unintended consequences like child marriages, abuses of women, economy, farmers, weavers, everybody has suffered. So the plan that we need to have is a consolidated, comprehensive pandemic management strategy. And this is the time to make it, and this is the House which should be contributing to making this particular strategy. Recently, Odisha's Chief Minister have made a suggestion that during the time of pandemic such as this, the SDA, State Disaster Response Fund, where the states are asked to share 25%, should be reduced to about 10%, even better if it is not there. Another point is relating to one-size-fits-all strategies. One-size-fits-all strategies don't work. In Orissa, for example, when private hospitals are not available in several districts, there is no point having 25% allocated to private hospitals. Therefore, our Honorable Chief Minister has made a request to the central government, and during the last meeting with the Honorable Prime Minister, to change this quota to 95 and 5%. I think many other states could also be facing a similar kind of situation. There is also at this particular juncture, it is very important because there is a fear that the third wave or the subsequent waves could affect the age group of 12 to 18 years. We have to think about the vaccination, how to do it quickly, how to ramp up the vaccination and its distribution in such a manner that this particular age group is addressed. Therefore, our Honorable Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has made this suggestion to the Honorable Prime Minister during the last VC that the rollout strategy for 12 to 18 years should be thought of now. And a concerted, well laid out policy should be followed with required amount of delegation to the states to decide where to do it.
Testing facilities need to be expanded before the beginning of the third wave. Vaccinate all students writing competitive exams like NEET. Need to speed up vaccination program for children about 12. Working near home program may be promoted. Action to reduce the financial burden of COVID-19 hospital expenses through mass insurance schemes. Learning from the history, avoid repeating mistakes like the oxygen crisis. Aggressive containment measure to be taken right from the beginning of the third wave. Ensure the supply chain of life-saving medicine and vaccines. Ensure proper training of medical professionals. Mass gathering need to be strictly controlled. We really need a strong and proactive surveillance system. Create an alternative mass vaccination delivery system apart from the digital registration, because villagers are facing a lot of problems. Direct registration and vaccination through ASHA workers, health workers, local ward members. Speed up vaccination of sick and old age persons at their respective homes. Reading the lesson learned in the past in this pandemic, it is necessary to develop a strong system to manage pandemic in the future, right from the beginning. And I also salute all the frontline workers for a brave work.
People lying on the ground outside hospitals waiting for admission, many eventually not making it, videos of people stealing oxygen cylinders for their relatives, heart-wrenching ground reports of scarcity of place and wood to cremate COVID patients. As somebody has already said, bodies disposed in rivers found floating, children orphaned due to death of both parents, non-availability or shortage of important medicines like remdesivir, oxygen, ventilators, beds, exorbitant bills, and the list can go on. All this spelled doom and horror in the minds of every Indian. With a fear, would it be my turn next?
दुनिया में तारीफ हो रही है कि जहाँ भी कहीं गुरुद्वारा था वहीं सिखों ने किसी को नहीं देखा कि कौन जात पात ऊंच नीच, वहीं से उसकी सेवा की। और मैं उनको भी धन्यवाद करता हूँ। मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहता जिन लोगों ने जो सेवा दे के फंड प्रोवाइड किए हमें, लेकिन 900 क्विंटल रोज का आटा हमारे गुरुद्वारों में पक रहा था और 150 क्विंटल दाल डेली, 200 क्विंटल सब्जी डेली, जो हमारे लोग सेवा कर रहे थे। लेकिन गुरु की शिक्षा के साथ के बुराई के साथ लड़ते हैं, भलाई का काम करते हैं, किसी ने नहीं घबराया, किसी ने अगों नहीं जवाब दिया कि मैं सेवा नहीं करूंगा। लोग इसके बावजूद कि पंजाब का किसान बॉर्डर पे बैठा है, तकलीफ में है, लेकिन इसके बावजूद वो सेवा में लगे रहे और दुनिया में, कहीं हिंदुस्तान में नहीं दुनिया में सेवा की। अरबपति लोग छुप गए और पैसा कमाने वाले पैसे कमाना लग गए, लेकिन जो गुरु के सिख थे, जो गुरुओं की शिक्षा सी कि बुराई के खिलाफ लड़ना है, भलाई का काम करना है, चाहे सारा परिवार भी मारना क्यों ना पा जाए, वो सिखों ने काम किया।
Earlier in the pre-lunch session, the House had to be adjourned till 12 noon amid protests by some opposition members who demanded a discussion on the alleged phone snooping by Israeli software Pegasus. Trinamool Congress members wanted the House to stop all other business, echoing their demand. The Congress member and Deputy Leader of Opposition Anand Sharma sought a discussion under Rule 267.
Please.
Chairman Naidu rejected the opposition members' demands for suspension of the business of the upper house. He said it was not possible to take up as many as 15 notices that he had received seeking discussion under Rule 267. When the opposition members did not relent, the chairman adjourned the House till 12 noon.
There is a 0 hour, which today, a 0 hour, all 0 hour notices are given by you. And some of them have been admitted. And you should give opportunity to those people to have their 0 hour submission. That is more important. Then at the end of it, what are the notices I received? By whom? I will read it over also and give my own judgment. So till such time, one must bear with the chair in the larger interest of the House and the system, and then wait for the turn to come. What is Vesaridi?
And the upper house on Tuesday mourned the demise of former member Ramadhar Kashyap. He represented the state of Chhattisgarh in the upper house from April 2002 to April 2008. He was an agriculturalist and also a social worker, and he also served as the chairman of Agricultural Produce Market Akal Tara. And the government on Tuesday sought the Parliament's approval for net additional spending of 23,675 crore rupees in the first batch of supplementary demands for the current fiscal year. Article 115 deals with the subject of supplementary, additional or excess grants. It is granted when additional expenditure is needed during the current financial year.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, अनुपूरक अनुदान मांगो 2021-22 को दर्शाने वाला विवरण अंग्रेजी तथा हिंदी में सभा पटल पर मैं रखता हूं। धन्यवाद।
And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks very much for your time.